and the investing side moves more slowly. And that dynamic highlights this basic point around transition risks from climate change. This is a sector that manages almost £2 trillion in assets, matching liabilities that often span decades. So, while a given physical manifestation of climate change may not impact the value of a corporate bond or a share, key point is that policy action to promote transition towards a low-carbon economy could itself spark fundamental reassessments. So take that example of a carbon budget I used earlier. If you use the IPCC's estimates of this, it amounts to only 1/5 to 1/3 of the world's proven reserves of oil, gas, and coal, proven reserves. So if that estimate is even approximately correct, it would render the vast majority of reserves stranded, literally unburnable without expensive carbon capture technology, which itself alters fossil fuel economics. Now, the exposure of UK insurers, in fact, all UK investors, to these shifts is potentially huge. 19% of the FTSE 100 are natural resources and extraction, and a further 11% by value are in power utilities, chemicals, construction, industrial goods. Globally, it's similar numbers. Those two tiers of companies comprise 1/3 of equity and fixed income assets around the world. Now, that's the challenge. On the other hand, financing the decarbonization of the economy is a major opportunity for insurers as long-term investors. It implies a sweeping reallocation of resources and a technological revolution with investment in longer-term infrastructure at rates roughly quadruple those at present. What's clear is for that to happen, this cannot conceivably remain a niche or green sector. Now, there are a number of factors which could influence the speed of the transition to a low-carbon economy, including obviously public policy, technological developments, investor preferences, or the actual manifestation of physical risks. Now, from a regulator's perspective, the point isn't that the point is not that a reassessment of values is inherently unwelcome. It is not. It is welcome. But our concern would be a wholesale reassessment of prospects, if it were to occur suddenly, could potentially destabilize markets, spark a pro-cyclical crystallization of losses, and a persistent tightening of financial conditions. In other words, an abrupt resolution to the tragedy of the horizons is in itself a financial stability risk. And the more that we invest with foresight, the less we will regret in hindsight. And there are ways to make that more likely. The risks I've outlined do mean that financial